Okay, I figured I'd make a video before I get too far along on this project. I've decided to do a partial repaint on the Cub Cadet turbo diesel. The hood's decent, just the back half isn't overly nice. The back fender pan and the foot pan. I'll show you the foot pan in a second. This one here, there's definitely some marks that could definitely be taken care of. I did try and spray some yellow spray paint right there to see what it would look like. It will actually turn out fairly decent, but I do want to do it properly. So this will get washed, and I'll do probably a very light sanding if I do any at all, and we'll go over and we'll respray this yellow. It'll also give me the opportunity to clean up some of his wiring he had running to the taillights. The wiring is a little bit messed up. I think he ran two wires down, one on each side. I'm not sure if he was controlling the lights separately or what he was necessarily doing, but the lights that were on here can be set up for taillights and blinkers. They have 3 wires. So really all you got to do, your white is your ground, and all you got to do is tie your black and red together and you get the full brightness out of these lights. I don't know why he did that, did it the way he did it, but it was done total backwards way. So my plan is I'm going to pick one side or the other. I'm going to run the line straight down to one side and up to the back. It will feed the one tail light, then we'll jump over and feed the other tail light. Simple as that. There's no real point getting rid of the tail lights since the rear fender has already been drilled for them. Since I already got the holes, I might as well put the tail lights back in when I'm all said and done with this project. The seat pan, it's good. It just needs a quick wash. The seat will need some repairs before this machine goes to auction. The plan is to fully pressure wash the entire machine. So I'm going to wheel this over onto the grass and get this entire machine cleaned up and pressure washed. You can actually see the way he did his exhaust. He had it bolted up through the fender or through the foot plate, which isn't a big deal. It will go back to the way it was. So I've unwinterized my one pressure washer. This is the easiest one to get back up and running, since it was only running about a month or so ago, not even. So pump is back on, everything's all tight. This is ready to go. There's already fuel in the tank, and I never touched the oil. Actually, still has clean oil in it. So like I said, nothing's going to happen with the front end on this machine. I do got to pull the front end off to do some wiring. So like I mentioned in the previous video, that wire right there is the charging wire. It needs to be hooked up either to the starter or to the battery. Then this here is another one of his wires he ran to the back. There's a lot of splices in these wires, so I want to clean that up as well. Run solid wire from the front to the back, both sides. This wasn't one of the wires he put in, but this wire was hanging out doing something. But this one right here is another one of the wires he put in. So stuff like that, get it cleaned up and get everything nice and tight to the frame. Also, I might relocate the fuel pump. The fuel pump is currently under the hood. I think I'm going to relocate it closer to the tank. These pumps like having the fuel flowing to them, and then they pump them up to the engine. If there's any issues, I'll switch it back to the way it currently is. But the fuel line is right here. So if I have room, I will figure out a spot to mount the fuel pump. Also, this right here, this spring, will be going away along with this piece right here. I will leave the raise and lower handle from the original deck, since it does give you a spot to hold on to when you're driving. So this will stay, this will go, and maybe mount the fuel pump. Probably can't go right there because there's a bar right there. If worst case, I can even relocate the fuel line from this side to this side and mount the fuel pump right here, if there's room between there and there, or even back here. Like I said, if I can relocate it easily enough, I probably will relocate it. So we'll end up draining that tank at some point, just to make sure it has nice and cleaned out on the inside, and we'll put diesel back in. We'll filter the diesel coming out, filter the diesel going back in, and we'll be good to go. Lastly, here is the foot pan. The decals are actually in good shape on this. It's just the pan itself is quite rough. So I'm going to pressure wash it, and we'll spray this up as well. I'll try my best to mask off that sticker and that sticker. I kind of want to save them if I can. These tabs here do need a little bit of repair as well. Just a hammer, tap them back down. He only had one bolt, I believe it was this one right here in this pan. I will be rebolting at least the edges. If I can get to the center too, I will put new bolts in there as well. They're just not the easiest to get to on these Cub Cadets. Possibly if I put the machine up in the air, I'll have much better clearance. And lastly on this machine, when the front end's off, I got to get the Johnny Bucket frame put on this. I have to do some modifications to the front of the frame rails on both sides so I can slide in my extensions for Johnny Bucket, and we'll be good to go on that. So this machine will still run and drive at the moment, but it's just easier to push it. Since the seat plate will actually bolt on using this bolt right here and this bolt right here, but it's light enough. I pushed it over to this spot right here a few weeks back. It's not an overly heavy machine, especially with the diesel engine. The diesel engine is actually probably lighter than the original engine that was in here. So get another shot of his exhaust. So he goes to a reducer, and he goes actually out to a muffler. This machine is very loud. I'm not going to start it up, but it is very loud regardless. So anyways, it's coming along. This will be kind of like a winter project. If I can get all this painted up before we get too cold of weather, I'll be happy. This here, I can leave it on the patio here, push it into the garage when I want to work on it, push it back out of the garage when I'm done with it, and we'll go from there. Or even leave it so it will still run and drive, and just drive it out, not a big deal. So quick update on Cub Cadet Turbo Diesel. This machine does need to be done for the spring 2025 to go to auction. That's the overall plan for this machine. It is going to auction in the spring. So I'll talk to them later. Please keep it redneck like always, and please subscribe and comment.